Hi, welcome to my channel, Inner Goddess Guidance. My name is Lara. I am a divine feminine on the twin flame path, and when I was stepping into mission, I realized that I could combine my background in teaching, my current experience in coaching, and my personal experiences along this path to assist other people to get in touch with their inner guidance system as you negotiate your own healing and journey to self-mastery. And so today has been an interesting day. I just got to start out by saying that I've been sitting here literally for 4 hours, over 4 hours. I made a video and I have something is wrong with my software for my laptop, and I can't figure out what it is, but the videos keep getting out of sync, the audio, the video, and then I have to use this other software to try to fix it. And I don't know, today it's just, I just have to accept that that's not gonna happen. So the video I had previously recorded is gone. And I decided that that means that that topic is gone too. So what I decided was I would use this opportunity to talk about a really important idea, subject, whatever, that I know we all struggle with. And so that's what you do when you get really frustrated and you feel like everything you're doing is not going right. And for me, this is about focus. And so I'm going to do this video and then I'm going to apply the very things that I am discussing with you right now. So I talked in other videos about how important it is to have a vision so that you know where you're going. That's your destination, right? And really being clear about what that vision is. And in that video, if you go back and you look at it, I think it's just called vision and alignment to vision or something like that. If you go back to that video and you watch it, it's going to talk about vision boarding. It's going to talk about writing out your future in detail. And this isn't about just union, although I know that that's what the majority of people really, really want. And I get it. You know, once you have experienced the potential of divine love, it feels like, well, why can't we just work on it and have that right now? Because you know what's possible. You know that that's a possibility, and yet it's not attainable in the moment. You have to stay the course. You have to go about this process. And that's why this channel is really not focused on union or reunion. It's focused on your path, on my path, our path. And so you want to have that vision, and you really want that vision to be about what you want to achieve. What does a great relationship look like? What does the future look like for you? What's the quality of life that you want to create? And one of the suggestions besides making a vision board is to use your journal and write it out in as much detail as you can. And even to the point where you're talking about what happens when you have a disagreement with somebody. How do the two of you handle that together? What do you do when, let's say, even in bed, you know, how do you negotiate sexual things? You know, be as specific as you can be. So, and I highly recommend that. Having a vision as clear as possible. And then the other piece is knowing what your core values are. Because once you're in touch with your core values, it gets much easier to figure out whether you are in alignment with your daily actions, your movement forward. Is this choice or this action or this behavior, is it in alignment with my values and taking me toward my vision? Okay, so you need both of those things. And you do need to be in touch with your higher self, that part of you that really knows everything and wants the best for you. That guidance system, those three things work together to sort of function as a GPS, okay? Then there is the topic I want to talk about today, and that's how you focus on what the next step for you is. So how you go forward. And I think a lot of times, like me today, when we get frustrated, when we get like pushed to the limit, whatever reason that we're in that space, because, you know, the truth is, I would love to be zen and peaceful all the time, but I don't know that that's reasonable. I mean, I'm getting more zen and more peaceful more often, but human condition, life intervenes. The videos don't upload like they're supposed to. The equipment doesn't work like it's supposed to. The relationship isn't going the way that you thought it would. There are detours. I said it in one of the other videos, sometimes I hear rerouting. A tower moment comes. We constantly have to be resilient and adapt. So what do you do in those moments? Here's what you do. You ask, what do I need to do right now? And you keep coming back to that. What do I need to do in this moment? What's the next step? And so that can be as simple as the next step is taking a shower. The next step is making myself food. The next step is feeding my cats. The next step is being present for my children. So you get really grounded in the moment and you just focus on that moment. So you're going to take your mind off the goal. You're really going to take it off of that vision. The vision will still be there. You can always come back to it. But you're really going to ground yourself in this moment. And that means even, okay, so here's an example. You are listening to a video, you're listening to a tarot reading, and you're listening to it, and you notice that it starts to pull you down. You come back to, wait, what do I need to do right now? And maybe right now what you need to do to save yourself is click off that video. You don't need to let everything come in. You don't need to stay in investing in this journey all the time. Go out and get your hair cut. Clean out your car. Clean out your purse. Clean out a drawer. What do you need to do right in this moment? What's the next step? So try that if you get in that situation. So today, that's kind of what I did. I refocused and I said, okay, I want to upload a video. That video is not working. I can screw with that for the rest of the day, but I'm just going to stay in that stuck mode. What I need to do is say, what can I do right now? And right now I can make another video about this experience, give this piece of advice of having people refocus, telling you in those kinds of moments, refocus and bring it back to the right now. And then when I'm done with this, I'm going to go about doing that just in everything I do. What am I doing right now? What am I doing right now? Not even what am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing right now? So that is very grounding thing to do. It's a very good work. And what happens is the time passes, you get involved in those kinds of things. Your mind does stop. The perseverating on whatever issue is frustrated. Because when we get frustrated, our energy gets really builds up, and it needs, like a release. And especially sometimes that can be totally related to things that have to do with planets and retrogrades and all this other stuff going on, and ascension symptoms and other things. So just come back to the moment. What am I doing right now? What do I need to do right now? I need to take a bath. I need to pay these bills. I need to write a letter. I need to do some laundry. Everything right now. What's the next step? Okay. So try that. And when you find yourself in a situation where you are stuck and going over and over it, or you're frustrated or whatever, especially if you get to the point where you're like, I just want to give up. Because I think what is really going on is most of us just get stuck in this vision. When is it going to happen? And why isn't it happening? And this isn't fair. And all these kinds of crazy thoughts that really aren't helpful. They're not helping you in the moment. In the moment, just come back to the fact of, I'm breathing. Just getting in touch with your breath. You don't have to make it a big, I'm going to sit down and meditate. And no, just breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay? Sorry, I have a cat that jumped up in my lap. So that's my tip for today. Come back to the journal, write yourself a list of tasks you want to do. There is no reason you can't use your journal for that. Your journal does not need to be some lofty place where you have amazing ideas and, and insights. You can just use your journal to write a list of 10 things I'm going to do right now. Okay? All right. So let's get a goddess oracle card of the day. And Luna, I'm sorry, sweet pea. I'm going to let you go down now. Okay. Spirit, will you please give us a goddess oracle card? One goddess energy that can work with us today. Maybe somebody who can help us through frustrating times, or when we feel like we need grounding. Your grounding goddess energy. There, oh my gosh. Okay, those were two, and one of them has come out before, and since Miss Lakshmi has come out recently, I think what I will do is I will Durga, boundaries. Let's do this one. Although I do want to say we have done Lakshmi before, and since it does say abundance, one thing to do is just come back to writing a list of gratitude things. When you're in that kind of energy that I'm in right now, feeling frustrated, you might just say all the things you're grateful for, okay? Instead of looking at all the ways you're blocked. But let's talk about boundaries with Goddess Durga. Now, I forgot to mention that this comes from the Goddess Oracle deck by Amy Sophia Marashinsky and Hana Janto. There we go. And her name is Durga, boundaries, riding a tiger. I kind of feel like when frustration hits, I kind of feel like I'm riding a tiger. The tiger is frustration. It's taking me for a ride. Okay, Durga, boundaries. When threatened by demons, I fiercely protect myself with all that I am, with all that I have, from deep within. I call forth all that I need. I am the inaccessible, for I place myself beyond the reach of all that would destroy me, all that would annihilate me, all that tries to wound me. I am the unapproachable, for nothing can get at me that I do not willingly let in. I dance my dance of oneness only with what supports me, nurtures me, loves me. For all that does not, I say, approach at your own risk. Devi is what the goddess is called in India. To the Hindu, all goddesses are one goddess, different aspects of Devi, or the divine feminine. An aspect of Devi was called into being to rid the world of the evil demon Durga. In the battle between the gods and the anti-gods or demons, none of the gods could destroy Durga. So they went to Devi and asked for help. Mounting a tiger and brandishing her fearsome weapons, she attacked the demon, who changed from one terrifying form into another until Devi slew him when he transformed into a buffalo. In remembrance of the great battle, Devi took the name of Durga. You have called Durga into your life to help you create boundaries. And then she says here, I define boundary as a shield or skin around you that allows you to choose what you take in. All life happens outside of your boundary. You witness it and decide what you are going to take in to nurture yourself. What are you taking inside that should remain outside? How are you not protecting yourself, your life, your time? Is the statement, no, I can't do this right now, I need to care for myself, part of your vocabulary? Perhaps you feel dumped on by others. Are you feeling pulled off center by demands to give and give and give until there's nothing left of yourself? Durga is here to assist you in nurturing wholeness by creating and fixing the limits of your personal space. Having no boundaries gives others the message that you are limitless and want to be treated in a limitless way. No one is limitless. There are places where we get hurt, places where we are vulnerable, places that need to be treated with care. Durga says that boundaries are vital because they let others know who you are and where you stand. I've been thinking a lot about boundaries because, unconditional love does not mean no boundaries. I'm thinking about the love that has taught me the most in my life about unconditional love. The relationship that's taught me the most is my relationship with my son. And what that's taught me is that I can love somebody in a very unconditional way. It's not a thing that he could ever do that would make me stop loving him. It's how I know what divine love is. Really. I know it through my son and my relationship to him. But man, that kid, children test boundaries. And part of a parent's job is to create boundaries and say, no, this is a place you need not go, right? You need to respect me. That's important. You need to abide by the rules I set for you. It doesn't mean to be unreasonable. It doesn't mean that you can't feed their freedom. But it does mean that when you know where the boundary is, you make it clear. And it's really important to let people know. You don't have to let them know in a harsh way that they've crossed a boundary. There are queenly ways to handle that, I think. You say, this is important to me. This is what I want. This is how I want to be treated. And I treat you the same way. So I think that teaching was another way that I learned a lot about setting boundaries. And I must admit, it was a challenge for me because I could see a lot of value in students being able to explore. But there were certain boundaries that were very, very clear. And a lot of them had to do with the way that we treated each other in class. There were certain words we didn't use, certain rules we abided by to show respect in terms of raising hands or, really waiting for somebody to finish before you interrupt them or things like that. Boundaries. And it's not only important that we understand and articulate our own boundaries, but it's important that we respect other people's boundaries. And I think when you can show somebody that you respect their boundaries, they're more likely to respect yours. So I'm thinking about, there are some boundaries that I set for myself. Because I know that if I breach the boundary, it's actually not good for me, even though I want to. So I'll give you an example that I see that comes up a lot in comments on different, or out of the tarot readings, either in the comments or on the tarot readings, has to do with the fact that we all have social media now, and people are it's very easy to look people up. You might be connected on Facebook or whatever, Instagram, with your beloved. And, or on a dating website, right? And you know that if you look, you're going to see things. I mean, that's, for me, I created that boundary. In fact, I stopped all dating websites. I didn't want that. I just decided it wasn't something I wanted to see. Period. And I don't mean dating other people, because I might be open to that at some point. But what I mean is, I didn't want to see if my beloved was on there looking for other people. I just didn't want to see it. But it's not important about it being his boundary. It has to do with it being my boundary. Why would I want to open up that Pandora's box? You see what I mean? And you might be saying, but you're not seeing the truth. Well, it's not a door I want to open. It's just not. And so I'm really thankful that I don't have to worry about Facebook or other kinds of things, because even though it's easy to sort of snoop around these days, the question is it healthy for you? I mean, seriously, is it healthy for you? So can you set your own boundary of your own behavior to say, it's letting your higher self come in and parent yourself. So the same way that you would parent a child, right? And you would say, look, I know you want to do these things, but I know it's not good for you. I know that if you stay out late, or you, I don't know, you don't check in with me. I'm trying to think of some examples. If you don't do your homework, whatever is the boundary for a child, you know, they're reasonable boundaries. And then we set them out of love for our child, really, because they don't know what the consequences might be. For example, if they don't do their homework, right? And so maybe we set a boundary that says you need to do your homework before you can call your friends or get on the video games or whatever that boundary is. And I'm thinking that in some ways, this concept of boundaries is very much, if we turn internally and we say, okay, we have this higher self who's sort of like our parent, our guide, our wise woman. It's all these wonderful embodiments of us, of our parent self or our greater self. That if you turn and you say, higher self, what boundaries should I be placing on, for example, my ego or my impulse, like having impulse control. and you may find that a boundary for you is you don't look on social media. You don't. Because it's not going to feed the relationship. It's not going to take you to a good place. It's only going to take you to a bad place. Now, if you want to go there because you're looking for evidence, because you want to be mad, because you want to be frustrated, because you want to feel victimized, because you want to get angry or whatever, you know, I know you're thinking, well, why would I want that? I just want to know the truth. I get it. But that truth is that truth that looks like it's the truth at the moment, and we all know that that truth is distorted, right? Is that quote unquote truth worth the price that you are going to pay? I mean, if you could be a fly and fly around and spy and know everything, would you? Would that be healthy for you? So when you're thinking about boundaries today, don't just consider the boundaries that you're asking another to abide by when it comes to you, and the boundaries that you are adhering to when it comes to another. Because I think that's respectful to hear somebody say, this is what I need or want, this is a boundary, and okay, I can respect that. But also consider putting boundaries or being aware of the boundaries that you set for yourself, and set those safe boundaries, because that's healthy. You know, parent yourself, I guess is what I'm saying. And that can be unconditionally loving. You can do that and still be unconditionally loving. In fact, I'm really proud of myself for setting certain boundaries. I really am. Because I know it's in alignment with who I want to be, the best of what I am, instead of my worst instincts. Yeah. Okay. So that's a thought for the day. Hey, I have a new deck for the healing cards. It is called, where is it? Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, Christiane Northrup. And what she's done is she has focused on 5 key life areas: fertility and creativity, partnership, nurturance and self-care, self-expression, and enlightened heart and mind. And so she considers that there are developmental steps in each area, and she goes into that. I'm learning more and more about it, but I thought today, why not use these cards and see what comes out? So Spirit, will you please give us one card from Christiane Northrup's Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom? One card. Okay. Well, this one is nurturance, self-care, hierarchy versus partnership. Look how beautiful that is. A mother with her baby. What a beautiful photograph or picture, or whatever rendering that is. Looks like it was a photograph and then they kind of painted it too. Either that or the person's a really talented artist. So it's in nurturance, self-care, which I think was the third one. And it is number 4. Oh, sorry. Turned it off. I forgot to mute that. Bad me. Okay, hierarchy versus partnership. It says, caring for others can be very nurturing, but make sure you're not using caring for others as a way to soothe your own feelings of unworthiness. Strike a balance between nurturing others and caring for yourself. Hierarchy versus partnership. So I was talking about this the other day with a friend, that women, we have been raised, and I think this goes back generations and generations. I mean, I think it's really historical, that our value and self-worth comes through how well we care for others, you know, how well we nurture them. And I personally think that's one of the reasons why we're often the chaser in the relationship. Because once we see the sort of the, I mean, I think when we fall in love, when we see the divine in another, what we're seeing is their divine potential. We see them in perfection. And it's sort of like with your children, how we see them being perfect no matter what, right? But that doesn't mean that, so our partner, our beloved, they might not be ready. They might have a whole lot of stuff that they have to deal with. And to chase is like, okay, I'm going to run away from caring for myself because I'm going to run toward caring for you because I think you need me, because I can make you better, because I can help. And yes, we can heal each other. We can. I felt it. You've probably felt it too. But going back to boundaries, they're adults. And they need to learn the same self-reliance in terms of all kinds of the same path that we're on, that same self-healing, that same intuition and insight and connection to spirit and all that stuff. That is their responsibility. That is on them. So release that. Let that go. It's not your responsibility. You're going to come back and focus in on self, not to be selfish. There's a difference between focused on self and selfish. So you can be loving to other people, you can care for them, and you can also care for yourself. And I think a lot of that is about setting boundaries. So where did my card go? I misplaced it. Nope, here it is. So that is a lot about setting boundaries. So maybe today you want to think about the boundaries that you set. Not only remember for other people and how they treat you and what those boundaries are, but also for your own self. Like, what are the boundaries that you know you need to set for yourself because they're good for you? And then that relates into self-care. So for a good affirmation is, I become aware of boundaries that are healthy for nurturing myself. I differentiate my care for others with my care for myself. You know, see if you can, I mean, that doesn't mean stop caring for people, obviously, but it does mean stop over caring for people at the expense of yourself, right? Because if you're so busy taking care of them that you can't brush your own teeth or take a shower or do the things that you need to do, you are not actually, that's not good. You're not setting boundaries that are important for you. And so prioritize yourself. That keeps coming out, by the way, in the messages over and over and over again, how important that is. Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to leave it there for today. I don't know how long it is, but since I had a stressful day trying to figure out all this stuff, I'm now going to leave it. And I'm going to focus on what I need to do next. And when I'm done with whatever that is, I'm going to focus on the next step. And I'm just going to keep saying, what do I need to do now? What do I need to do now? What do I need to do now? Okay? I hope you have a wonderful day and that there were some useful tips in here for you. And once I figure out what's going out with the other video, I will either get that one uploaded, maybe tomorrow, or I'll just have to reshoot that one. You know, stuff happens, right? But for now, I'm going to get off the tiger, the tiger of frustration. I'm going to go on with my day. Have a great day. Thanks for showing up. Leave a comment, like, do that kind of stuff. I really like it when you do. All right. Bye-bye. And recording, oh, it's the wrong one.